Ladies and gentlemen, I have invited you here because I have a statement to make regarding the current political situation in the country, and particularly regarding the developments that we saw yesterday in Nairobi on the security of the Deputy President in his residences. And I want to make this, I want to make the following remarks, or my remarks are as follows. One, in the recent 1 or 2 months, we have seen events, utterances, comments, and some form of exchanges between the president and the deputy president that gives a clear indication that all is not well between the two of them. From the previous bromance between the president and the deputy, we clearly now have a situation where the deputy and the deputy president and the president of the Republic of Kenya are not working together. They are reading from different scripts. Their differences are out in the public. That is a fact that we as Kenyans have noted and must live with it. The only request that we are making as people of Kenya is that whereas it is good for the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Deputy President to work in harmony, in love together, whereas that is the desired working relations, when things have degenerated to where they have gone today, we as a Kenyan public have taken note of this. But we also want to say that the Constitution of Kenya did not anticipate that the president and the deputy must be in love throughout. It is well and good if they work in love. It is well and good when they are reading from the same script 100%. It is well and good when they can show that brotherhood and bromance that we saw previously. But now that that is broken down, what we are only asking them to do is that the Constitution has provided a mechanism of ensuring that the president and the deputy president are able to lead the nation, irrespective of their differences. They must agree on issues that are of importance to this nation. They must both respect the Constitution, and that their relationship is guided by the Constitution. We therefore want to ask them that as much as they are uncomfortable with each other, they now have to resort to work together as provided for by the Constitution. The Constitution clearly provides for the roles of the Deputy President. Key among them are the assignments given to him by the President as his principal assistant. But there are other functions constitutionally given to him by the Constitution and by the law, given to the Deputy President by the Constitution and by the law, that even the President cannot take away from him. One of those examples is that by law, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is the chair of IBEC, Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council. That is a responsibility given to the Deputy President by law, among many others. That responsibility cannot be taken away from him by the President himself. I want to thank that for the 4 years, we have been able to engage through IBEC under the leadership of the Deputy President. And we are asking the Deputy President continue executing each and every assignment given to you by law, now that the others that were supposed to be assigned, that were assigned to you by the president, have been withdrawn. That is still okay. That work of chairing IBEC and many other responsibilities given to him, including inspiring the nation, building the unity of this nation. That is the overriding principle of any leader in our republic. From the MCA all the way to members of parliament at their level, the governor and the senator at their level, the deputy president at his level, at the national level, and the president. So whereas many other responsibilities have been taken away from him, we still eye the deputy president that you still have enough on your hand to carry out in this republic. Inspire the nation, preach peace, bring leaders together, bring communities together, chart an agenda for this nation, including providing and giving your input with regard to government programs across the nation. Where there is need to criticize, where there is need to give an appreciation, where there is need to give contribution. If the forum is not available at the cabinet, there are many other forums that you can speak. In any case, Kenyans have always spoken to the government through open platforms. And therefore, we think that the deputy president still has an opportunity and the forum to give his input. We equally ask the president of the Republic of Kenya that it is a fact that now you no longer work with the deputy on the same page with regard to politics. You have never differed on the building of roads. You have never differed on the need to continue expanding electricity connectivity in this country. You have never differed on many other development projects. Clearly, you differed on one particular agenda, and that is the BBI. We should not, all those proponents of the BBI should not be very mad at the deputy president for the outcome in court. In any case, the constitution of the Court of Appeal, the appointment of judges to the High Court, to the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court, is not done by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. It is done by the President. And therefore, if you are unhappy with the outcome of the High Court and the Court of Appeal, that anger should not be directed or misdirected at the Deputy President, but it should actually be directed to the right people and offices, including the legal advisor of government, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. I am sure the current AG holds the record in terms of the number of cases that government has lost. So the president clearly should be directing his anger at the officers who may have failed in advising giving legal advice to the president. The decisions of the judiciary in this republic is autonomous. And therefore, any difficulty that somebody has with regard to the rulings at the High Court and the Court of Appeal should be directed to the right offices. But also the Constitution has provided a mechanism for redress. If you are unhappy with the High Court, you go to the Court of Appeal. If you are unhappy with the Court of Appeal, you go to the Supreme Court. I am happy that yesterday we saw a decision by the proponents of BBI to take the matter to the Supreme Court. That is a welcome direction. Let us exhaust the legal framework provided by law. However, we are concerned by some of the occurrences, including the decision to reorganize redeploy the security apparatus that has served the residents of the deputy president for the last 9 years to the kind of decision that we saw yesterday. We want to say that you may quote the law, you may quote the standing orders, you may quote whatever document that you want to quote. But it is said that if it is working, why fix it? For the last 9 years, the security apparatus within the presidency has been managed in the manner that has been managed for the last 9 years. What is this agency that necessitated the changes that we saw yesterday? We are told it was for purposes of effective delivery. If for 9 years it has been okay, what has necessitated the effectiveness today? So clearly, any right-thinking Kenyan will read some mischief in those changes. Clearly, there is some mischief in those changes. From where we stand, looking at the changes, the frustrations directed at the office of the deputy president for the last 4 years, what happened yesterday is just but an escalation of what has been happening. I want to urge all civil servants and state officers that in this republic, all of us are guided by the law, by the constitution, acts of parliament, customs, and the way this country has been governed all along. We want to ask all public servants, resist the temptation to be used to execute political vendetta. This country is going to be here beyond the elections. You will be held to account at a personal level for whatever decisions that you make outside the law. However, I want to take this opportunity to call for calm. It is clear that some of the decisions being made out there are intended to create tension, create mistrust, create an environment of instability, cause a situation where members of the public and the communities will be out there demonstrating because their leaders or their leader is being targeted in this whole arrangement. What I want to urge the people of Nandi, Nandi is a cosmopolitan area. We know what we have gone through as a nation from the previous politically instigated tensions in our country. We made a conscious decision, interestingly led by the president and the deputy, that never again shall blood or lives or property be lost on account of political competition and political differences. It seems to us that that commitment may no longer be the case up there. But we in Nandi County and in Rift Valley region as a whole And I believe this is the position of every Kenyan, that no blood, no life, no property will ever be lost on account of political competition. And therefore, if any of the public servants are being used or misused to try and create a situation where Kenyans go back on that commitment, I want to give this commitment from Nandi and from the region that that is not going to happen. You will continue escalating your humiliations on the deputy president. You will continue doing what you want to do. But we want to give you that commitment that as a region, as a county, we will never degenerate to a state of chaos or a state of instability or a state where we will mistrust each other. This Nandi is made up of hustlers. You go to Kisumu, there are hustlers. You go everywhere in this country. People are struggling to make a living for themselves. We have no time to engage in political sideshows and run into the trap being set to try and create a region or a nation where people will conflict on account of the kind of political persecution that we are seeing at the national level. And for the members of public in Nandi, what you saw yesterday is just but one of the many. The Deputy President of Kenya has been humiliated in worse situations than what we saw yesterday. But because of the maturity exhibited by His Excellency the Deputy President, knowing very well and conscious of the decision that he made and aware that people are trying to drive him to a certain direction, he has resisted the temptation to respond and behave or run into the trap of the people trying to set him up. Now that they are unable to push the Deputy President to the level that they would have wanted him to go, they have decided to carry out reckless decisions that have no serious merit in them in an attempt to try and cause tension and instability within our region and within the country. The good news is that we no longer have fools in this country. People are able to read through the lines. That which you are looking for, you are not going to get it. Certainly you are not going to get it in Nandi. You are not going to get it in Rift Valley. You are not going to get it in Kenya. We will prosecute the issues raised, the illegalities on some of those decisions, the political malice in some of those decisions that are being done. We will prosecute them at the right forums up there. But at the local level, we will ensure that the hustlers continue to make their living. And that which cuts across, that which brings us together, is the daily struggle that we make. People from different communities, the daily struggle that we make to earn a living and to make a living. If you saw the kind of demolitions of people's businesses in the middle of a pandemic, the kind of merciless evictions that have been carried out in Kariobangi, in many other places out there, the kind of destruction of people's businesses and livelihoods that have been systematically undertaken in this government. If you are to put that against what the Deputy President is being subjected to, you will realize that Kenyans have been subjected to worse than what we are seeing here. So what we are asking the government of Kenya led by the president is that you do not have to work with your deputy on the same side of the coin. What we are asking everybody is to respect the law. That which is entitled, in fact, a retired deputy president or a retired president, a retired vice president, a retired speaker of the National Assembly or the Senate, a retired chief justice is entitled to security. Those are basic entitlement to any servant at that level. So if the deputy president is entitled to absolute security, even when he retires, how do you then engage in a situation where you are taking decisions that appear to undermine the security of the same deputy president who is serving, yet he is entitled to security, maximum proper security, even when he retires? So clearly this is political games that are being played with certain intentions. But what we are telling you is that as a region, as a county, as a people, we will not fall into that trap. I am urging and thanking the people of Nandi and the region that we have maintained calm despite attempts to provoke the region and provoke us into some level of anxiety within the region. We will not fall into that trap. We will work round the clock to ensure that every hustler continues to make a living, as we also prepare ourselves, knowing very well that the election in 2022 is the defining election. Defining in the sense that it is an opportunity for us to correct an economic model that has been used in this country for long, that has served few and increased poverty and marginalized the majority of Kenyans. So as we speak right now, within our region and within the Republic of Kenya, young people are going for IDs. Young people who have IDs are continuously registering themselves as voters. And when that opportunity comes by the IEBC for us to do mass registration, people will register en masse, because we know the weapon we have against our desired goal as a hustler nation is our voters card. The only weapon we have available for us would be that voters card. Any attempts to take us into sideshows, we are going to give them a flat out and ignore them. We want to ready ourselves for an election like no other. An election where the interests of politicians are not at the center stage, but the interest of many hustlers and the local people, Mama Mboga, Boda Boda guys, farmers, and many other people at the lower cadre, who have never been at the center of the discourse of this nation. In this election, the fight is how to empower these hustlers. And therefore, any invitation to any other contest, whether it is a contest of ethnicities, whether it is a contest of acrimony, whether it is a contest of chaos, whether it is a contest of tribal negative ethnicities, we are not boarding. We want to keep the contest ahead of 2022 elections as a contest of a change in economic model in this republic. And these hustlers that many public servants think are fools are not fools. and they have flatly rejected their invitation to a state of chaos or to a state of mistrust among themselves. We will stand by each other, work towards ensuring that we have a regime in 2022 that caters for the lives of the young people. We are aware if what is being done to the deputy president was being done to any other politician in this republic, we would have witnessed a different level of instability in this country. We thank God that we have a God-fearing, mature leader in the deputy president who can be able to see beyond the trap. If that were not the case, we would be in trouble as a nation. But we thank God that he has been able to balance. That whereas we have a fair share of completely irrational leaders in this country and public servants, he has also given us a fair share of reasonable, sharp, focused leaders who can be able to see the traps. We also thank the Lord for this nation that Kenyans picked lessons from 2007-2008 and made commitments deep from their hearts. Though we thought we were making these commitments with the president leading us as our team leader, he seems to have departed from that direction. And therefore, for us, we will remain true to that commitment that under no circumstance shall innocent blood, lives and property of any Kenyan, irrespective of their ethnicities, will be lost on account of political competition. And as I conclude, clearly, there is no love lost between the president and the deputy. But running government is not a love affair. It is guided by the law and by the constitution. We are asking the president and the deputy, asking particularly the leader of this nation, that lead from the front. Plan your succession in the manner that you want to plan, but also allow the deputy president to plan his agenda for the people of Kenya in the manner that he intends to plan. Let us subject all these proposals and prepositions to the people of Kenya. Let them make an independent decision at the ballot on which way to follow. So let us allow the president to manage his succession in the manner that he is keen. Let also the same state allow the deputy president and any other politician in this country to aspire, sell their agenda, persuade the people of Kenya. The same choices allow the people of Kenya, who are not fools. They know what they want for themselves. Allow them to make the decision at the election time. Let us not misuse state power and state resources for purposes of politics. Finally, we are telling the deputy president and the president, we do not desire any of them to resign. Not the deputy, not the president. Nyinyi sasa mujibebe. Hiyo deputy president ni mzigo ya president. President ni mzigo ya deputy. Hii watu wabebane mpaka ile siku mpaka tarehe 9 August 2022. Hii watu wabebane. You know, so you must, nobody should be telling the other one to resign. You got into a contract for 5 years. That contract is ending on 9th of August 2022. In the meantime, nyinyi watu mubebane. Na muvumiliane. Na mkuwe waungwana. Even in a family where children, the parents are not in good terms, they fight in the bedroom. They don't fight in the sitting room. They don't fight out there at the backyard of the house. They don't fight in front of their children. What we are asking the president and the deputy, mvumiliane. Tunajua mmekosana, amukubaliani, lakini ile contract mko nayo ni mpaka 2022 9th of August. In the meantime, spare us this kind of side shows. Mvumiliane. As a region, we have accepted. President ni mtu yetu. Na tutabeba yeye mpaka 2022 tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8. Deputy President pia ni mtu yetu. Tutabeba yeye mpaka hapo. Awache ile kiti ya Deputy President. Sisi kama wa Kenya tutampatia nafasi ya kuwa president hapo mbele. And whoever will run with the Deputy President, William Ruto, as the running mate, we will be asking also the Deputy President, we have seen the kind of mess that we have found ourselves in this last term. We hope this is the last of this kind of nature in terms of the relations between the President and the Deputy moving forward. Unfortunately, Uhuru Kenyatta was the first president under the new constitution, properly speaking. We hope that all the other presidential candidates have not picked bad manners from this kind of arrangement. As we move to the next election, we hope we can pick good lessons and ensure that the next transition and the next 10 years after the current term of government, we hope that we will have better relations. Na kwamba wale wamechaguliwa kama president na deputy watakuwa waungwana, waendelee kwenda mbele. Lakini tuvumiliane jamani. Na watu wa Nandi na waomba na washukuru kwamba mmekuwa calm. Mimi nataka kuwaomba kwamba tusiingie mtego ambayo tumetegewa. Ile mtego imewekwa hapa mbele kwa Wakenya, kwa watu wa Rift Valley, kwa watu wa Nandi, kwa hustlers katika Kenya mzima, tusiingie katika hiyo mtego. Tuvumilie. Wale wamebomolewa vitu zao, mali yao imeharibiwa, tuvumilie. 2018 tulikuwa tunasema ni miaka minne. Tukakuja miaka mitatu, miaka miwili, mwaka mmoja. As we speak, tunazungumza kwamba ni miezi. It is an opportunity kwa kila Mkenya ajitayarishe. Uchaguzi unaokuja utakuwa uchaguzi wa kuamua the political and economic paradigm shift in our nation. So sisi ile silaha tutajiami nayo ni silaha ya ID, silaha ya kura. Hiyo ndio silaha ambayo tutatumia katika ile vita ambayo tunaenda. Na vita yetu ni kubadilisha serikali ili tukue na serikali ya kujali mtu mdogo. We are rejecting totally the invitation to any other contest other than a contest of changing the economic dynamics in our nation. Si nimesema waungwana? Basi.
Labda kidogo Gavana, today we are celebrating the constitution. You've made lamentation over the issues that happened with the president. Under the new constitution, the chapter 8, National Police Service, chapter 8, section 5, talks about security of the president. That GSU commander shall be responsible for the president and president. As we celebrate the 2010 constitution that we promulgated, do we have any breach that you want to tell the government? And on that note, we have members of parliament. They have seen the mess of CS Matiang'i, IG Lusambai, PS Kibicho. What is their role? Because you talk here, but you not see maybe anything. Are you also calling for maybe censor motion in the parliament to impeach Matiang'i maybe, and the other fellows who are also breaking the constitution of the government?
Clearly, the challenge in this country today is not about the law, because the law is as clear as it can be. Even in this particular matter, the law is as explicit as it can be. That is why, by the way, some of us who are opposed to this change of the constitution is that we were saying, why are you changing the constitution when the problem is not the constitution? If we were to implement the 2010 constitution to the latter, we would be able to address a lot of these challenges. We have clearly, you tell us you want to change the constitution to increase resources to counties. The current arrangement allows you to increase. If you tell us you want to change the constitution in order to achieve what? Let us implement. Clearly, as we celebrate 11 years after the promulgation of the new constitution, what we are urging every institution of government and every leader in government and even leaders in the opposition, let us implement the constitution to the fullest. That is basically what it is. Let us not try to create reasons why the constitution must be changed when we have not even implemented the constitution to the latter. We are also asking members of parliament, and that is why I was telling, as I urge the people of Nandi to keep calm. We are telling them to keep calm because the responsibility on addressing the issues and the challenges that are being raised and the issues that we are witnessing today lies with the parliament. So it is the responsibility of members of the National Assembly, the responsibility of members of the Senate to carry out their job in terms of ensuring that they are able to hold to account whoever it is that is breaking the law in a blatant manner. So the responsibility, that is why we are telling Raya, this is not your fight. You have no role as Mwananchi. You can only sympathize. We will ask you to continue praying for the deputy president, but the responsibility of dealing with these matters lies squarely with the National Assembly and the Senate. So we are asking Parliament, can you take your rightful role and ensure that you deal with the situation as it is? But for Wananchi, we are gearing towards 9th of August 2022. Ile kitu tunaambia wananchi hapa, kata kipande. And we are also asking national government. We are aware that in the process of the government has been keen on producing Huduma cards at the expense of giving young Kenyans IDs. So instead of IDs being produced, we are seeing Huduma cards being produced. If you go to IEBC, you cannot register yourself as a voter using an Huduma card number. You are required to have an ID. That is why we are asking national government, again, the department in charge of registration of persons, can you continue producing IDs for our young people? The Huduma card that you are producing is not a document that is helpful to them in many respects. We have no idea what those Huduma cards are meant for, but the IDs are useful for purposes of preparing our nation for the major task ahead of us in terms of the elections, but also the young people who want to register, who want to join the military, who want to join the National Police Service Commission, who want to join many other programs under government. You are required to have an ID. Yet at the moment, there is a slow down in the production of IDs, and now the government is concentrating on producing Huduma cards. Yet those Huduma cards cannot be used by a young person to join the military. It cannot be used by a young person to join the police service and many other government programs that are out there. Siitoshi hapo waungwana.